Hey guys! Oh my god, it is another episode of the Nursepreneur Investor Hub. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been listening to me, and I hope that my journey has been inspiring you to take action. It has been inspiring you to do that one thing that you said you were going to do. I am particularly focused on wholesaling because wholesaling is what I am currently doing and it's generating so much money for me. And I am just really excited to share that with my fellow nurses. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. But if you haven't already, don't forget to go follow me on all social media platforms. Christy Asa, LinkedIn. We are on Spotify right now. We are on Facebook, Nursepreneur Academy. We are on Instagram. We are on Pinterest. And let me know where you found me on and just say hi, nurse, and I got you. But today I want to address a certain question that I got on Instagram about wholesaling being virtual. And she was so insistent. She was like, "Oh, Christy, I know somebody who does it, but they said you have to be there in person. And I'm just concerned because virtually, how can you do it virtually, right?" That was the nitty gritty of the entire of the question. So I want to address this, and I want to also talk to you guys about bringing outside partners to help you close on a property. Okay, now talk to you guys about the challenges I faced or the challenges I still face virtually, and also how I overcome most of those challenges. Okay, so you guys stay tuned. Get a pen, get a piece of paper. Let's go. So, can you do wholesaling virtually? Absolutely, yes. You can do wholesaling virtually, but there's a trick, right? There's a trick to all of that. Before going out there and just want to do something virtually, you have to understand what it is you're doing. When I started, and I always encourage you guys, start in your backyard. If you're trying to start wholesaling, start in your backyard, unless it's absolutely impossible, and then you can go virtually. But once you have learned the skill of just doing it in your backyard, when I say in your backyard, I mean in your city, and that's what I mean, okay? Not in your backyard. But when I say in your backyard, that's what I mean. Before you can go ahead and be like, okay, I want to go home, I want to go virtual, okay? Now, when you start wholesaling, start in your city. The reason you start in your city is because you want to understand the basics. You really want to understand what is wholesaling. How do I run the numbers? How do I present my deals to buyers? How do I show up at a seller's house? How do I protect my properties or properties I have under contract so nobody is going to take that from me? Because let me tell you, real estate is a nasty ass game. Excuse my French. So you want to make sure that at any point in time, you must always secure that property. So those are the little things I want you to take note of before you dive and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go virtual," because virtually you're not going to be there in person, and that is where I'll talk to you guys about my other point, where you bring out you outsource other partners. So virtually helps you. Let's say you get your first property. Congratulations, you get your first property, and now you have to present these properties to buyers, right? 9 times out of 10, these are buyers who are in state, and these are buyers who will go there to look at their house. I personally encourage you guys to always go for your first couple of appointments. If you post a property and you get a buyer that says, "I'm interested," there's absolutely no reason why you should not schedule a day and time that works for you to go show that property. This is your first time doing this, and you cannot trust somebody you've never met or you met off the internet to go look at a house without you, especially if it's not vacant, if it's occupied by the seller. Because guess what? Some buyers have no integrity, and they're going to go there and they're going to try to get the property from you and just go directly to the seller. So you want to make sure you must go for your first couple of appointments until you're pretty solid in creating rapport with sellers. Then you can be like, "Okay, this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a whole different video, okay? So when you start in your backyard, you develop the skill of you showing up and you setting expectations with the buyer. You got to let the buyer know, I am the contract holder. If you have any questions or concerns, you should be talking to me directly. Number one, you should never be late. You want to go there 30 minutes before the buyer, because some buyers really are on time. They will go there before you. And if you're trying to prevent that, guys, listen, these are mistakes I have made, and I have lost on properties. I have lost on deals because some buyers literally walk up to the seller and say, she's not this buyer, I'm the buyer. And thank God that I had a rapport with the seller, and I was said, I'm going to help you get a buyer for this property. So the seller was like, I know. So show up 30 minutes early, look around, get comfortable, just try to figure out, how to get the buyer in, how to set expectations. And then once the buyer gets there and say, hey, the seller is at home, I'm the contract holder. If you have any questions, direct it to me. Do not be afraid to express yourself. You must fully express yourself at all times, and you must set expectations. Buyers will try you. Oh girl, trust me, they will. So once you set expectations and say, and I will appreciate that if you want to negotiate anything, reach out to me. Do not exchange contacts with my seller. That's it. You know the rules. Buyers know the rules, okay? They know the rules, but they'll try to play you. So once you set expectations, you guys go in, you let them look around the house, and you pretty much, another thing, you are going to be leaving. You're going to be the first to go and the last to leave. Let him leave. Hang around for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm telling you all, these buyers are slick. Wait around for about 5 to 10 minutes and then make a circle in the neighborhood, and then you can go ahead and leave, because especially if it's not vacant, they're going to find every little possibility to get in touch with that seller. And I know you're going to say, oh, they can always look up the seller online, but no, 90% of the time they don't have time for that. So it's a lot more easier for you to prevent them having access to your seller at that point in time. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why you should start doing wholesaling in your backyard. You get used to talking to buyers, you get used to setting expectations. So when you are going virtual, you can carry these expectations to your buyers virtually, and you can still as well set the expectations. Do not change. The rules of real estate do not change. You set expectations whether you are there or not. Another reason why I encourage you guys to always start in your backyard is because you're creating rapport with the seller, right? Let's say the seller says, hey, I'm going to be home at 10:30. You don't just want to start, so can't make it up. You want to show up, look at their house, take pictures, physically let the sellers get to know you and get comfortable talking with you. Attach a face to the name or name to the face, whichever one comes first. Now, this is really, really, really important, because once you get these basics, then your confidence develop. Your confidence develop in such a way that even if you're doing this virtually, it's the same expectations you will set with the seller. If you're not going to be there, there are different ways to let the seller know you cannot be there for every appointment. Okay, now if you go for this one, and let's say you go see the seller and you guys talk, you get to know the seller gets comfortable, because there's a lot of real estate scams out there, guys, I'm telling you all. So some sellers are very, very paranoid, they're very antsy, but once they see your face, they get comfortable. People will do business with you if they know you, like, and trust you. So it doesn't matter if you're offering the lowest price or the highest price, but just the fact that they can see you with all these crazy real estate scams going on, it's a deal, okay? It will work because you have sacrificed the time, the gas to go to that house, and the seller knows, hey, let me call John Doe, let me call Christy. She was just here. They will reach out to you. You guys create that rapport. They will tell you, hey, guess what? I had the seller come and say, hey, the buyer came. She took a picture. The buyer gave her a picture, wrote down his number, his email, his offer, and gave it to the seller. And the seller was like, Christy, the buyer gave me all this information and she sent it to me. Now, mind you, this is virtual. I've never met the seller before, okay? But just the way I have developed rapport, and I did not start out like that, okay? I'm still learning myself, but I'm teaching you guys the methods for me. Just by the rapport setting and the trust building I built with that seller, she was able to communicate that information with me. And I called my buyer and was like, what's going on? You know the rules. What's up? And this was an older gentleman. He said, Christy, I have never bought a property from wholesale before. I usually go through an agent and, this is what I thought was right. But the seller did understand that we were going to bring a buyer. So at the end of the day, we fixed that problem. But imagine that some sellers want to be slick and they say, oh, I can just keep this money to myself, or I can just block her and never talk to her again. So it goes like that sometimes, and it does go like that sometimes. So, but when you do this in your backyard, you get used to all these setting expectations, getting used to letting the sellers know what to expect and what not to expect. It is very, very important because you're going to carry this outside. Now, another reason why you want to start in state versus out of state is because you want to know how to join the various local Facebook groups. Once you start joining these local Facebook groups and you start going for meetups, buyers get to see your face. Oh, are you new? Oh, wow, I want to do business with you. They start understanding who is Christy. You're sending me these properties. Some buyers too are paranoid. They'll be like, oh, no, this person. They're going to want to do their most research of you and what you do. But once you start going to all these meetups, you start getting acquainted to them. And guess what? This is a big circle. You're going to find some buyers in Atlanta real estate group and in Michigan real estate group as well, because they buy in Michigan. So that is how you start finding yourself in the circle and people getting to know you, like, and trust you. Both buyers and sellers will want to do business with you. So that's why I encourage you to start in your backyard. But the expectations don't change. The rules don't change. You can absolutely scale from there once you are used to getting deals done from your backyard. You can add a couple of states that is a couple of hours away from your home state. You can add that. Now, another hiccup you're going to face is finding buyers in another state. Oh, God, help me. Guys, I've done wholesaling nationwide. I have done it in every state. I think, no, besides, we do have some states we have not done. I take that back. We do have some states we have not done wholesaling in, because some states do not allow wholesale. But I have done it in every state where wholesaling is allowed. And what I learned is collaboration over competition. You have seasoned wholesalers in other states that will move a deal quicker than you can ever imagine, okay? Quicker. But now here's the kicker. Some people don't want to split that profit. So let's say you have 123 Main Street, North Carolina for sale, right? At $120,000, your profit is $20,000. And you are in California, right? Now, North Carolina is not your market, mind you. You are just getting into North Carolina and you get this amazing deal. Now you're stuck. How do I get a buyer? And I'll tell you guys other ways to get the buyers, but this is one of the easiest way to get the buyer. You have to partner, or we call joint venture, for short JV. You have to joint venture with another seasoned investor in that town that is going to bring a buyer. Listen, I want you to write this down. You are not going to joint venture with somebody that's going to joint venture with somebody else. You want to joint venture with the person that has direct access to that buyer. That person is going to bring you a buyer. But guess what? It is not for free, guys. It is not for free. They are going to bring you the buyer for you to split that profit you have. Now, it's your deal. You make the decisions. You call the shots. What I usually do a 60-40 or a 70-30. I'm not trying to be greedy, but I have to cover up for my marketing. And that's exactly what I do. And that's how I explain it to my other seasoned investors, okay? Hey, I understand you bring the buyer and I do appreciate you. Can we do 60-40 just so I can cover up for marketing? And 90% of the time they will accept. Some people, I want 50-50. Especially if they know that the buyer is ready to go, they will say 50-50. And it's okay. Guess what? You do that first deal with them, you gain that trust. They know, oh, she's the bomb. I want to do business with her. Then you start turning the rules to your favor. Because the deal I talked to you guys about in Alabama, I met this guy off of Facebook. We finally got to do our first deal together, and he said, Christy, what do you want to do? I said, you know what, let's do 50-50, because I was very close to losing that property because we were almost over our contract period. So I was like, I'd rather split my profit with this guy 50-50 versus me losing on the entire deal. So I was like, let's do 50-50. He was surprised. He was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, sure. I'm almost about to lose this deal anyway, so I'd rather split with you 50-50. So, but when you split 50-50, do let them know, hey, this is not an ongoing thing. We're just going to do it this one time, but I normally do business 70-30 or 60-40. If after that they don't want to do business with you again, it's okay. But this, now at least you have some skin in the game in that location. You can actually take time and start finding people who really want to do business with you for the price you're offering, okay? Nobody said you're going to split up your profit 50-50, but that's an easy way for you to get properties off your hand. Now, some wholesalers will play you. They will say, I have buyers, and I've got played before like this. I have buyers, and they will take you up until the last minute, and they will say, oh, my partner brought a buyer. No, honey. You don't have buyers. You know somebody that has a buyer, and you want to take this property with me, and then they're going to come back to you and say, can we split 3 ways? No, we cannot split 3 ways, but you can split your commission with that person 50-50. But if you're in a situation where you're absolutely tight and you know that they brought it up to you at the last minute, you do it that one time and you cut ties with them. That's what I did with that last guy. We did a couple of deals before, and then the very last time he said, oh, my guy's person. I said, you know I don't do 3-way splits. But guess what? We're going to get this deal over and done with. And after that, I just cut him off because he knows the rules. And I bet you that was somebody that it was just, he just brought up somebody and said, oh, this person has a buyer. He knows that if he's not direct to the buyer, he doesn't need to do business with me. He might as well bring a buyer, or he might as well bring somebody and say this person has the buyer, and they can figure out their profit on that end. Guys, I'm not trying to be greedy, but I'm trying to let you guys understand that at the end of the day, if you don't do it right, you're going to be finding yourself not being able to cover your overhead costs. So that's why you set expectations with the other wholesalers, and always let them know. Another thing I want to warn you guys about is that wholesalers, some of them, investors, they're gonna come and say we have buyers, but they really don't. What they're gonna do is they are gonna take your property and at $5,000, $10,000 more. Before you know it, you're wondering, why is this property not selling? What's going on? It's not selling because it's all over Facebook. It's all over all marketing platforms for $20,000 more than what you originally had it for. And I monitor my properties, okay? I monitor them like a hawk. Now, if I see a property that looks like mine, I'll be like, hey, where did you get this from? I'm under contract with the seller. Please take it down. In a very nice, polite, and firm way. And the person who posted it, I bet you they know they should not be doing that. That's what they call daisy chain. Daisy chain just means that they have added the price and added the price. And some buyers will be like, oh, I've seen this property all over social media, and begin to wonder who actually is the contract holder of this property. I'm interested in it. That's where you come in and say, I am. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to prove that by showing your contract to the buyer, which is fine. So setting expectations with other investors and say, hey, if you're not the buyer, please don't waste my time. I'm actually looking for somebody who has a buyer, not somebody who is going to shop around for a buyer by putting it on Facebook for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 more. If you don't have a buyer, it's okay. We'll do other deals together. That is how it works. And all of these things, guys, I'm going to break it to you down on the next video, but I wanted to really cover this step to you guys about this lady asking about, can you do it virtually? Yes, you can, but you have to understand the basics by starting wholesaling in your backyard. Once you understand that and you get your feet wet, you get your confidence up, you know how to communicate and set expectations, then we can talk about going virtual. Because guess what? You'll be on the phone talking like a pro and getting the deals done. But guys, I hope that you were able to understand this podcast. I hope this information was helpful to you. And I just want to see you ladies win. I want to see you go out there, take action, and just become senior. When I started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Okay, but investing in mentorship that I have constantly learned over the years, different ways to just scale my business, is helping me a lot, and I'm encouraging you to go and do the same. Again, we do have our mentorship going on every single time, so reach out to me on all social media platforms, and I look forward to seeing you in class. I look forward to helping you anywhere I can in your real estate investment journey. Let me know what you love more about this podcast and what you want me to talk about. Again, it's Christy Asa. See you guys. Bye.